thing being introduced, I'd like to invite two guest speakers that joined us today. It's a great honor to have them here, and they will enlighten us today with their findings. Let's first warmly welcome Professor Dr. Volker Quaschning from Hochschule für Technik und Wirtschaft Berlin. He will enlighten us more on the solar industry development in Germany.
Hi, many thanks for the invitation, and it's a nice event here. And today I would like to talk about small PV systems in Germany. So what is the market, what is the development, what we can expect here in Germany. My name is Volker Quaschning, I'm from the Berlin University of Applied Sciences, only a few kilometers away in the direction, 3 or 5 kilometers. And we are working with solar systems. I'm working in that area since 30 years. So, the first part I will talk about today is the energy transition and the climate protection here in Germany. And let's have a look. We have a lot of crises here at the moment we are talking about. We have a crisis sitting in the White House, so it's called Donald Trump. And we have tariffs, we are talking every day in the newsroom. We have a crisis 4 or 5 years ago, it was Corona, then we have a war in Ukraine, we are spending money to our military and so on, and there's one crisis we have forgotten. It's the climate crisis. And if you're looking on this figure, you can see what has happened during the last 20,000 years. We started here, -7 degrees centigrade, so this was the ice age. Berlin was covered with 200 meters of ice, and then we have a transition phase about 10,000 years. The sea level rose about 120 meters. And then, since 10,000 years, the temperatures are stable. So this was the development until 1900, and now you can see what happens until 2025. So we have here a disruption. So we have a strong increase in temperatures, and our calculations, the calculations of the climate researchers say that we can reach 3 or 4 degrees centigrade plus until the end of the century. And if you look on this development, here the ice age, 120 meters lower sea level, 200 meters ice on Berlin, and then we add nearly the same temperature, then something will happen to our planet. And if you look what happened, so of course the sea level will rise. So we have the potential to increase the sea level in the range of 60 to 70 meters. So, okay, Berlin 30 meters. It will take a lot of centuries, but that will start right on now. So we will get some problems with the agriculture. So see, we have a drought here at the moment in Germany, and if this will continue some weeks, we will get problems with the harvest in autumn. So this is also happening now. And of course, if it's dry, so we have also here the danger of forest fires right now in April. So it's also part of the environmental crisis at the moment. And of course, the temperatures are going so high that we have also danger to life. If you're looking to the Robert Koch Institute, they have calculated that we had last year 3,000 deaths due to heat in Germany only. And so this is a very big thing. So we expect, if we have a temperature raise in the range of 3 or 4 degrees centigrade, that more or less 3 billion people in the world will live in a place where it's too hot to live anymore. And this will be a big problem. So we have to stop this. We have to bring down our carbon dioxide emission, and for that the German government has decided to become carbon dioxide free until 2045. You can see the development of the carbon dioxide emission in blue, what happened in Germany right now. And if you want to fulfill the Paris Climate Agreement, it's even not fast enough. So we have to become carbon dioxide free even faster, and what happens now is the trend. So in Germany we are not on track. So the climate protection is too slow to fulfill any climate protection targets. So we have to speed up the energy transition process. And for that we have to look on the energy transition process, what happened right now. So this is the electricity supply in Germany. And you see here the renewables, we started on a very low base. In the 1990s we had about 3% renewables, so it was mainly hydropower. Then we added biomass, wind power on land, wind offshore and PV, and altogether at the moment we are in a range of 56, nearly 60% of renewables. So it sounds very good. So if you speed up, we can achieve 100% renewable power, but it's only electricity. If you're looking to the whole power system, so we have to flatten the curve, and because we need some space here for the other sectors. We have the heat, we have the traffic sector, we're using fuel oil, natural gas, petrol and diesel. It's bought from Putin, now from Donald Trump. Those selections are not the best. And we have here also the industry. And all these sectors using fossil fuels. We have also some then the renewables here, the heating or traffic sector here. The green one is biomass, for example, firewood or diesel, biodiesel, but it's very low. And these are renewables in the power sector, electricity sector. These are the renewables in heating and traffic. And if we fit them together, we are right now we have only 21% renewables in Germany. That's it. We are buying more than 70%, we are importing 70% fossil fuels from countries we have talked about, from Russia, from America, and we see that with problems we have at the moment. So nuclear power cannot help us. We are discussing a lot of nuclear power here in Germany, but the amount nuclear power had 2 years ago, we can neglect it. So what we have to do? We have to speed up the energy transition, we have to go to renewables. So what are the potential we have in Germany? So we can look on the other renewables in hydropower or geothermal power. These potentials are limited. So the rivers, we have not so much rivers, we have no Nile, for example, like in Egypt, we have only the Rhine, and the amount of water is limited. We have also a limited potential of biomass. Looking at the amount of wood we can earn here every year is limited in Germany. So here we have no big potential. Where we have potential is wind power. So in Germany we have to add wind power, but there's the potential also limited because we need some distances from the wind power stations to the houses because otherwise the people complain. And then the limit, or then the amount of wind power, it's the total amount we can use. More is not possible. So this is the amount we can totally do without solar in Germany. So hydropower, biomass, wind power, and you see with that we can cover about half of the total energy demand. And if we want to cover, so this is the demand we need for wind power, and this is what we installed last year. You see we have to speed it up, but also if we achieve these high goals, so we have a limited potential. So what we can do, we have to add solar power. So in solar power we have no limits in Germany. So we assume it's a good idea to use nearly the same amount of solar power than of wind power, because wind power we need during the winter time. So solar power is a good issue for summertime, and altogether it's a good combination. And we we recommend to install 30 gigawatts of PV per year. And what we have done last year is about 60 point something, so nearly 17 gigawatt. So you see, if you want to fulfill our climate saving goals, we have to increase the installation numbers by a factor of 2, and therefore we need all types of solar power stations, big ones, small ones, very small ones, balcony systems. Every solar system is a good system because we have to speed up the development. Let's have a look what amount we use for solar power. So at the moment we have 100 gigawatt installed in Germany. We expect that we need 600 gigawatt to fulfill the Paris Climate Agreement, and for that we need 0.8% of the landscape. So it's not very much, and can even install 6,000 gigawatts. That's enough for whole Europe. but we want to supply only Germany, and for that we only need 0.8% of Germany. And if you compare it to other ranges, for example the traffic area or the settlement area, so the number or the amount we need for solar power is not very high. And the good news are also we have not to install it all on the fields. We can also install part of the solar power in the traffic or in the settlements, and this is very important. So if we bring down renewable installations, and then we have to come down with the demand, and for that we need electric cars and heat pumps because they are very efficient and can save energy. We need also some hydrogen for industry, but not for single homes or something like that. And then we can go to 100% renewables until the end of 2040. So this is what we have to do. The second part, we have to look what happens at the moment in Germany. So let's have a look on the photovoltaic markets in Germany. So what we see here is the development of PV, 2000, almost nothing, 25 years ago. And you see here one first phase, so until 2012 we have a strong market, then the German government decided to stop it. We have a small one at the moment. We are a second phase that's going on. And here you see the different ranges of PV system. The small ones you see at the bottom, the very big open ground-mounted system you see here in green on the top. And if you combine it, you see here the green one are the ground-mounted system, and in yellow you see the building system. And the small plug-in system are the red one. It's difficult to see, but if you're looking in detail on these segments, it's very interesting. So the building, these are the plug-in system. So there's an arrow that you can see it. But interesting is the market growth. So that's very interesting for the plug-in PV system. So you see here a very small market in the 2000, 2010, and now you can see what happens since 2021. So we have here plus 60 megawatt, 200, 430 megawatt plus in 2024, and we have growth rates 280% on 23. So if the car industry had this growth rate, it's one big party here in Germany, it's only PV, nobody is talking about that, but it's very interesting what happened at the moment. And we also see that the sizes also increase, so the size per unit is more or less 1 kilowatt. So we will later on hear something about the market also from UPD, but we have nearly the same figures. So we have also made some calculations on the potential and motivation for PV. So what potential have we for small plug-in PV system? Only small systems with two modules, or 800 watt systems. And so interesting, whereas the biggest market is single family houses. Of course they can install big systems, but also I've seen a lot of single family houses with small systems as well, because they have also a balcony, they have a small carport or a small garden house, and there is also some options to add single family house systems, two family houses as well, and then we have the multi-family houses, 3 to 6 units, or the bigger ones, 7 to 12 or more than 30 units. And altogether, we had a calculator, we came to a potential of nearly 28 gigawatts, only for small plug-in systems. So the 600 gigawatt is the total potential, so 28 gigawatt for plug-in systems, only 5% of the total potential, but I will talk because it's very important, 5%. I will explain now why. So the total installed areas at the moment are 0.8. So there's a lot of place for installing small systems. So you can nearly add a factor 30 of the systems we have at the moment. So what are the reasons? We made some surveys here. We made a study in 2022. There's also a new study from EUPD we are talking about later on. but the reasons I've looked in the study, the reasons are nearly the same we have found. So why are the people installing these systems? So of course they will do something for the environment. So the systems are easy to install, seen there, it's true. And of course saving money, amortization is giving, or small investments, or economical reasons are very important as well. So economical reason and environmental reason, and they're easy to install, so that's the most important reasons. And this makes easy access to the solar market. So if you want to install a bigger system, it's really complicated. You need an electrician, you need something, you can do it on your own, and this is a very important reason for the people. So this next point, why I am very favor of these small systems, these are very important for the acceptance of the energy transition process. Because what we have to do, we have more than 100 gigawatt now of solar systems in Germany. So maybe in 5 years we have 200 gigawatts. Then we will generate during summertime, during daytime, more power than we can consume. So it's very important that the people add their consumption, that they adapt their consumption to what the solar systems offer. So they have to consume the electricity during daytime, so they have to change their behavior. And we have made a survey, has the plug-in system changed your relationship to electricity consumption? And it's very interesting, 50% say yes, I even adapt my electricity consumption. So this is very important for the energy transition process. So all these small systems are very, 20% yes, 27% no, so they are very good for the awareness of the energy transition process. And also the storage is also a very important option. I think in 2 years it will be no longer be possible to install a solar system without a storage in Germany, because we cannot use the electricity during daytime, so we need a storage. And interesting also the awareness. So can you imagine using a storage system in combination with your plug-in solar panel system? 7% said yes, I already do that. 70% yes, I can imagine. And you see here the storage is also a big issue for the small solar systems. And 23% no, I cannot imagine. Okay, the last point, benefits of plug-in solar systems. We'll also see some calculations from EUPD. Our calculations are something older. We had here a Stecker Solar Simulator in German only available, but you can do some calculations here. What are the saving and earnings of your systems? And we made this. We have a very low electricity price, 35 cents per kilowatt hour. I've seen Anker has said 40. EUPD, I think something like higher, so that this explains small differences between the numbers, but they are in the same order. And you see here without a battery, so these are the systems. You can have here a self-sufficiency rate, a range of 16%. If you add a battery storage, we can go to 127%, and these are the saving with a low electricity price. So it's the worst case scenario, and you see it's good and it will work. So nearly every household can afford such a system and can save money from that, and that's very interesting. So we have to speed up the energy transition process, and I think the small systems are a big pillar for that, and that can give a good contribution. And so my wish is, let's make climate neutrality a reality, and the small system can help us. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Professor Koschning. I'm now delighted to introduce and welcome to the stage Julia Eversmann from EUPD, and she will enlighten us about their new findings. Welcome.
Hi everyone. Professor Koschning really set the bar high. I'll try to keep it up. I'm Julia Eversmann. I am a senior research analyst from EUPD Research. We do all things market research on solar energy and everything around that. And we have conducted a study together with Anker Solix on the plug-in PV in Germany. And I will keep the German market but really short because it was already talked about, and then we will look into what the end users of such systems really say about them, and if it actually makes economic sense to install a storage system or to add a storage system to your plug-in PV. All right, let's go. Yeah, this one, just really short. As already mentioned, the German market of plug-in PV has been going through the roof in the recently, or like, well, let's say through the balcony. It's been really growing, and we expect to see further growth in this year. The first quarter of 2025 has already proven new installations are coming in. It's a developing and growing market. Regarding the storage systems, it's kind of following the same trend. So we see increases in there as well. And at EUPD Research, we have a yearly product that we conduct. It's called the Solar Prosumer Monitor, where we ask PV owners about their PV systems, how they use it, how they install it, etc., etc. And the last survey, 2024-2025, had a sample space in Germany of more than 5,700 users, and 7% of them were owners of plug-in PV systems. And we asked them where they install their systems, and the most popular option is the balcony, but also garage, house roof, garden, anywhere in the house or in the apartment. And we asked these people if they have a storage system. And they said 33%, so a third of these owners said that they do have a storage system. While this is an increase of 10 percentage points compared to the previous survey, so we see an increase of from 23% to 33% within 1 year, so we can definitely see people are installing more and more storage systems, but it's still quite low compared to the overall sample, because in the overall sample, 60% said that they have a storage system. And another thing that we've noticed is that here, at this line, 26% say that they do not intend to install a storage system, and also 18% say that they are still undecided. These values are also higher than for people who have a bigger storage, bigger PV system on their roof, for example. And so we asked the people who actually own a storage system, why do they install it? Why did they install it? And they said, we wanted to increase our self-consumption. While in the past, environmental concerns and sustainability concerns, as seen, were like the primary reason, right now, people really want to keep their electricity. They generate electricity and really want to consume all of it by themselves. So this appears to be the primary reason. And then also saving electricity costs, as they have been increasing in the past years. Finally, interested in the technology is also one point that seems to be really important to German users. And then those who do not have a storage system, we asked them, well, what holds you back? And they said, it's not profitable. They said, it doesn't make economic sense, and the initial cost is too high. And so this was sort of the initial idea behind actually looking into profitability of such plug-in PV storage combination. And we have actually used the HTW Berlin brilliant tool to sort of simulate a few scenarios. So we have simulated 3 scenarios of 1,000 kilowatt per hour per year, 3,000 and 4,500 yearly electricity consumption. We have estimated the electricity price trend for the next decade by basically projecting historical electricity price data in Germany. And then we wanted to see how much